In my latest video, I spoke about the 4 project management essentials: the project cycle, project management elements, teamwork, and the common vocabulary. I mentioned the 5th secret ingredient, and this is executive support. Executive support is the fundamental of project success. Without executive support, you may be lucky, but in a competitive environment where your project competes for resources with other projects, a project without executive support is doomed. Why? Every project needs resources, and every project has decision points. In every project, problems can come up. You need to find answers and solutions. Projects are multidisciplinary endeavors, always involving multiple fields of your organization or even multiple organizations, and there are always minor or major conflicts during project execution with the conflicting interests of different stakeholders. In these points, executive support is crucial because when you need a decision in a conflict situation and you lack executive support, then debates just never end. Because no progress doesn't matter anything for the executive, for the sponsor. If the sponsor doesn't care if your project succeeds or fails, then there can be situations when there will be no decision, at least not in an effective and timely way. Another aspect of executive support is resources. If your project competes for resources for other projects and you don't have executive support, then your project will always be cannibalized for resources by other projects or just, for example, for daily operations of the organization. Talk is cheap. So executive support doesn't simply mean that the sponsor confirms that I want this project. Real executive support is not telling that I support you. It is commitment. It is real commitment. You see that you have executive support when your project has the priority over others, or at least it is not deprioritized. So, for example, when there is a conflict for resources, then at least you can count on getting half of what is available and not just always waiting for other projects to take their turns. In an ideal case, you need the resources you want. You get the resources you want, and that's the ultimate sign of real executive support. Sometimes, when decisions couldn't be made in advance, it's just hard to put it nicely. So when prioritizing projects were poor, or just you were in a situation when you cannot really tell that you can't have everything, you can't have all at once, then you need to share resources among projects, and then all the projects affected will suffer. But if it is always your project that suffers, then that means that you don't have executive support. So, another sign of executive support is that the scope doesn't change too often, and there are not big swings in the scope of the project. Why? Because if there are large changes, then it is a sign that your client, your sponsor, have not really thought about what they really want. And that's why new ideas keep coming up during project execution. So if you have real executive support, then you also have executive understanding, and even if new ideas during project execution are justified, there is an understanding that you need to finish what you started first, and of course you can make adjustments what are really necessary, but you need to postpone all bells and whistles not originally in the project scope after go live and after you complete the current project for two reasons. One, you never finish your project if there are always new requirements. The other is that before you finish the original scope, there will be another new ideas and another new ideas, because you will really see the results at completion. So if new ideas keep coming up, they will keep coming up later in the project. So it is better resist them now. Basically, that's the sign, the importance and the significance of executive support in a project management context. Now, why the project, why the executive, why the project sponsor, why the clients support the project is also important. There could be various reasons, but I will tell you about that in another video.